Welcome back to historic Bosse Field, a comeback of historic proportions as the Evansville Otters work their way back from a 6-run deficit in order to beat the Florence Freedom 8-7 in 13 innings. Let's walk you through the game now. Mike Radomski and Bill McKeon here in the broadcast booth. It started off with Florence scoring 2 runs in the first inning against Chris Peters, the left-handed starter of the Evansville Otters. An error picked up in center field by S.D. Harris and an RBI infield single pushed the Freedom ahead by a pair of runs. Later on in the ballgame, 3 more runs in the 4th inning as Billy Mottram, the center fielder, had an RBI single. The second baseman, Tim Grogan, had a sacrifice fly, and the shortstop, Steven Schultz, had an RBI single to make it 5-0. Tack on a run in the 5th inning, and all of a sudden the Evansville Otters were behind 6-0. But as we've seen the whole year long, the Evansville Otters just have something built in their DNA to come back in a few of these games where it looks like normal teams would just buckle down and give in. Jake Rogers broke the Otter shutout back in the 5th inning. Here comes the pitch, kick and deliver. Long fly ball, deep left field. Wheeler spins around, goes back, warning track, looking up, home run, Jake Rogers. A long fly ball that leaves the parking left field. Rogers adds to his home run total this season. He's up to 5. As the Otters have their first run of the game, they are behind 6-1. And just a few batters later, Pat Rose came up to the plate, and he found an open spot as well. Long fly ball out towards right center field. It falls in. Fielding it out there is Mottram. A throw in towards the infield. A 2-run single for Brandon Cohen. And the Otters are down now just 6-4. That took place in the 8th inning. A very impressive play by Brandon Cohen as his quick bat got around and had the single to right field. Nick D'Amico in his very first game, the Otters shortstop able to come through with an RBI single as the Otters came down within a run. And Billy Killian came up to the plate in a very crucial spot against an all-star right-handed pitcher, Liam Ullman. Ullman with the sign, throws home. High and away, ball 4, not even close, and this game is tied up at 6. And then it became a battle of the bullpens all the way on through. Top of the 9th inning, Kyle Barry struck out the side against the Florence Freedom. Bottom of the 9th inning, Julian Arballo came on in. He also had 2 strikeouts. In the 10th inning, it was Jason Renicky. He struck out the side up against the former Florence Freedom players. That continued the game along even deeper. Few teams had rallies but couldn't quite produce the runs until the top of the 13th. A leadoff walk to Jimmy Baker. He would be pinch run by Bo Manning. A sacrifice bunt moves him over, and an RBI single by Justin Pickett puts Florence ahead 7-6. Then in the bottom of the 13th inning, Arballo stayed into the game for his 5th inning of work, something he has not done this year. He's never thrown more than 2. A leadoff error put a man on base. A sacrifice bunt moved Nick D'Amico to second base, and a walk to Vinny Scarduzio put a pair of runners on with 1 out. Pat Rose then struck out as a pitching change was made, and Matthew Antos came in. Then up came S.D. Harris, and he had himself a very big hit. Harris a single that goes up the middle and falls in. Picking up the baseball is Mottram. Scoring is Nick D'Amico. We're sticking around, folks. It's 7-7. Otters. And the fans would not have to stick around much later than that because the next batter, Greg Alexander, came through one more time. The pitch. Loop the other way out towards right field. A base hit.
That's a game.
Going on out there. It will not be fielded. Scarduzio scores. The Otters win 8-7. In 13 innings, Greg Alexander, your hero again, 2 games in a row. And this is the man who had the walk-off home run in the 9th inning of the last game that took place. And all of a sudden, he steps into the hero spotlight one more time. Some final numbers: 8 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for the Evansville Otters as they come back in the win. Florence blows the 6-run lead. Their final numbers: 7 runs on 10 hits, 4 errors committed in the ballgame. The winning pitcher is Patrick Kreider. He did allow a run in the top of the 13th inning, but no more after that as his record improves to 1-0. The losing pitcher in this game, Julian Arbala, boy was he impressive over those 4 1/3 innings, but in the last one started to break down a little bit. He takes the loss as his record is now 1-3. The game took 4 hours and 36 minutes as 1,615 fans were here to see it. Welcome back in Bill McKeon. Have a feeling who it is, but who is your player of the game?
No, I'm going to fool you, Mike. I know Greg got that hit that scored the winning run, and he also extended his hitting streak, but I'm going to go with 2 people that added to all the runs in this game, and that is Jake Rogers and the new rookie, Nick D'Amico, because they had the hits, the RBIs, D'Amico was on 3 times with errors. And how many times did he score on his RBIs? I'm going to give the hero of the game 2 heroes. That is Jake Rogers and Nick D'Amico.
And one thing we've seen from the Otters this year, they really come back in a lot of ball games, something they've done a large number of times this year. What really makes a team stick around and say that we still have a chance?
Well, hustle. Number 1, take advantage of every situation and get the timely hit as you need it. But the point is, advancing from one base to another, when you look and you say, well, I don't want to get thrown out at the base. Well, you got to take the chance, and the Otters did. And as I said to you, the outfield was playing too deep. So it was an easy runs to score. And this is where you take advantage. The outfield's there. Now, a long fly might have brought in 1 run, but when you get those singles, the runner on second can score easily.
When you have a game like this, people often forget they have a game the next day. What do you expect to see tomorrow from these boys if we haven't seen enough already?
Well, I think they're going to come out here all juiced up and saying, hey, we've got a win under our belt. Actually, they got 2 because you look at the last win, the game before the All-Star, they have 2 wins under the belt, and it just goes to show you we were down both games, and both games we came back. What does that tell us? It tells us we're a good game. We're a good team. We can stand the pressure, and we can deliver when the time comes. The mailman certainly delivered today.
Alexander came through one more time, delivering at the very clutch moment, bottom of the 13th inning, as the Otters did come away with the win. Now we want to thank everyone who made the broadcast possible. First off, a special thanks goes to Brandon Godden, the executive producer at WUEV. And working back in our Evansville, Indiana studios, working tirelessly all the way through the night, giving us commercials, highlights, everything, you name it. Paul Mattingly, an incredible job by our studio producer tonight. Amazing job, Paul. Please join us on Saturday night as both teams will meet again in the middle game of this series. It is Vince's University night at Bosse Field with first pitch set for 6:35 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Otters pregame show will begin at 6:15 on WUEV 91.5 FM. The Otters have Nick Sutton starting. Sutton 3-1 with an ERA of 2.14. Cameron Aspis will start for the Florence Freedom, 2-0 with an ERA at 5.64. Once again, your final score, the Otters come back in an 8-7 win over Florence in 13 innings. For Bill McKeon and everyone here at Bosse Field, I'm Mike Radomski. Have a great night, everyone.